I see my pot. Maybe it's my pot. So these are the two pots that I threw a couple days ago. This one's just gonna go straight into the reclaim. It was all funky. I got it messed up whenever I took it off the wheel. This clay was super soft. I didn't use a piece of paper on the top like I normally do either when I take pots off. So not only is it definitely not round, but I don't know if you can see it, but the bottom is like indented, and I don't really know how that even happened. But I'll smash it and then see if I can't just break it. Kind of want to look at the walls anyway. Throw it in my scary bucket of reclaim. Walls aren't bad. Oh no! This is the bottom, but they're fairly even. And they just, actually they're not that thick. They're thicker than what I think I normally throw maybe. I mean, it's just a 1/4 of an inch. So that's pretty decent. But they're also drier than I normally do when I throw, when I trim. So we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna assume that that's a 1/4 of an inch. I'm not even sure if I can like poke a hole in this thing. So yeah, just over a 1/4 of an inch, like 3/8 of an inch. So there's a lot that needs to come off this thing. I'll start on the bottom. Not with that scary water. This thing's kind of wonky too. See what happens. pot's too dry. Because I'm still learning drying times. Every place is different. And I guess it's equivalent to just leaving something outside to dry, since there's this is gonna be a pain. I'm just use use lugs. Pull them out somewhere. Very cool. Lug clay. It's gonna suck me in. Try both ways. Just stay put. Sucks about when it's super dry like that, all the dust goes into the lug clay and then it makes it even more hard to stay down. This thing is like 20 pounds. Okay. You can do it. Stay, stay, stay. Please. This one try to be more aggressive. cost me more trouble than it's worth. Again. we're down to like a quarter of an inch, so that's good. Let's see, it's a little wavy on the inside. It's just a plant pot. Wobbly. I don't know if I can. Just gonna take a bit off so it's not quite so thick. This is a tool I got right before we moved and I still haven't quite figured out how to hold it. scared me.
You mind if I play some music?
No, not at all. Surprising. I'm getting close to getting done anyway. This thing is like super thick. It's so thick. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a good one to try the X tool on. Yeah? Does it not look like it did? I didn't weed eat.
Huh?
I didn't weed eat.
I was curious.
I didn't do that corner either where you're digging up, because I'm like, why bother? Plus,
Oh yeah, over there now.
everything like dried way too quick.
Oh really?
It's just because I'm not learning like, you know, different environments. So I think I am going to set one of those greenhouses up in here because I think that would help slow it down. Like, because I had it wrapped up, but I think if I did like, which I just got to move everything around. Like I don't know if I told you that wedging table is not working. Well,
The new one?
well, the material works. What the issue is that those casters only have locks on one side. So what I want to do is just move it, like figure out where I'm going to keep it, and then take the casters off. I know, yeah, it's on my list. I'm probably going to do that after I do this, since I'm not going to get to do the other stuff I want to do.
Are you streaming?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is just more record of what's going on.
On my own, here we go. 3 marbles.
Ooh, nice. Are they pretty marbles?
One looks pretty pretty.
Yeah. You should put it in my little treasure jar.
Okay. Everything that I found, I put in the same spot.
Okay. All right. How am I doing this? I need to mark it so I know what I'm doing. Are we? Are we getting somewhere? It's just like so dull. Austria. Come on, lady. Straight here. You are all lucky. A little bit curved. Okay. It's kind of finished looking. just gonna trim the bottom off, the hole out, and just call it. And then maybe I'll mess it up on the X tool. Be an extra try because this one is just not that great. All right. So I'm thinking the bottom of this one is also a bit warped. You know, I got some parts that are thicker than others. You can kind of see with the hole. And it was a lot more uneven before I trimmed it. And I'm thinking, I dried it on this concrete board. And I think that I've read somewhere that that can do it because your bottom will dry more quickly than the sides because the bottom's on the concrete. So I think I need to set up better drying space in here. And also do a better job of finding a place for my clay to just lay out too. So we'll see. But my membership at that studio starts on the 1st, so I may be working in there. We'll see. I gotta find out their hours still. Yeah, the move did go well. I am lopsided. Yeah, move went well. I'm in my new space. You caught me right before I was like finishing up. New space needs some work. So it only has one functioning outlet, so I gotta run a cord from the back to the front. And then there's a lot of holes in the walls. So it's pretty much just like being outside. So I didn't throw it all through July until now because it was just unbearably hot. So it just cooled off enough to get out here in the last 2 weeks. And now I'm learning like the drying times for everything. Because I threw 2 days, the day before yesterday, and I set out 2 pots, and they're both way over dried. I had them wrapped up, but yeah, they're drier than what I'd want. And then I set them on a concrete board to dry, which is new to me. And they dried a bit wonky on the bottom, so I'm thinking they dried more quickly on the bottoms. What else? Oh, and then I laid out some of the reclaim, like I'd thrown 5 pieces or 4 pieces or 4 balls of clay, only got 2 off. I think, and so I took those 2 that I didn't keep, just laid them on the concrete board to dry a little bit, thinking, oh, I'll just put them back in, you know, re-wedge it or whatever. It was completely dry when I came out today. So it's much different than my old space, but I think that's just, you know, I'll learn it. And it's also probably the time of year too. But the good news is I was really bummed when I got here because the studio I was planning on joining now has a wait list. But there's a new one that just opened and they don't have like any members yet. And so I joined them starting on the 1st. And it's actually closer. It's like literally like a 4-minute drive away. So that'll be cool. I'm excited about that. And she said that she would throw all my pots. So I do have some pots that I've just been kind of like keeping. It was back when I was trying to make something for my mom. And I was thinking about throwing them away, but now I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and fire them. Why not? Because I need some plant pots. And that's what they all are, is plant pots. So yeah, so now I'm just working on setting up a new space. I'm working on making a new wedging table, which is taking some work. I have one of those stand-up desks and that have a crank on it, and I'm gonna make that my new wedging table because my old one was just like a wooden filing cabinet that we picked up from a thrift store for like $10, and it was totally the wrong height. So yeah, so now that I have the right height, but the problem with the wedging board is there's casters on it, and only 2 of the 4 casters have locks. So it doesn't really work well when you're wedging a bunch of clay on it. Come on. So the new plan is to figure out where it's going to go in my space and then take the casters off because the height's right. So it's getting there. And then I think I'm going to start back doing the Potter's workbook next week, at least one day, because we've got, I was so excited to join that studio, but we have a game jam coming up this month, so like 10 days I won't be doing any pottery probably in September, from like the 13th to the 23rd. But I'm just very happy to get back into it. Everything needs to be cleaned, man. Anywho. Yeah, thanks. Well, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming by, saying hi. It's cool. It's always cool. This is just like a personal project, and it's interesting that people come by and say hi. I think that's really nice. I'm all about the good vibes, man. Well, I hope you're having an awesome day. You call it and sweep. Yeah, man, that's the way to go. Who needs to make anything, right? Just touching it makes you feel better. That was funny. I was, you know, when I threw the other day, I'd forgotten how much it made me happy, man. It like, I was in a good mood before. I was like not in a bad mood or anything, but afterwards I was just like thrilled. Even though it wasn't a good throwing day, my clay was too soft. You know, everything was a bit wonky that it did get off the, you know, wheel. But I was just still just beaming. It's funny. There's tons of dirty jokes in pottery, tons. I think it's the earthiness of it. I think it's the same thing, like whenever, like repot plants and stuff like that, just something about touching dirt. I think it's just grounding, I guess, to be all hippie and woo-woo-y. Yeah, it's been, I think it's in the 90s, but like, the heat index was like in the hundreds uh, before. I think maybe low 90s. I don't know. To me, like anything under 95 is bearable. It was like that when I first got here. I threw once with my niece. She came over, and that was like mid-July. And it was like 1 o'clock when we were throwing, and I was like, I can't do this. It was unbearable. And I think the problem is, even if you can stand the heat, it's the fact that you can't cool off. You know what I mean? Like, I can handle the heat, but like, I'm not cooling off in any way. I'm drinking water, but I'm still not cooling off. So, I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. Well, we were gonna make this garage a higher priority to get it more comfortable, but since found that studio join, that's gonna help out on the worst months. So, and as long as I got like, I'm in the shade, if I could get a fan going, I'd be golden. But we just need to get a second outlet running. Because if you have a breeze, it's not bad. Just walk in. My husband suggested that. He was like, well, why don't we just move the wheel inside? And I was like, no, it's gonna be a terrible idea. I'm too messy. Yeah, no, that's the bonus part. Yeah, they have a kiln. In fact, I told them I didn't really necessarily need to use their wheels, but they have a kiln, and she said that she would fire my pieces with my outside clay as long as I knew what I had, which I thought was awesome because a lot of studios won't do that. And then it's the same thing where I can use like all their glazes and all that kind of stuff, and I get a shelf, and it's like $65 a month. Like where we were at before, all the studios nearby were like $200 a month, and this is just like a hobby for me, man. Like this isn't, you know, a money maker or anything like that. So like I couldn't justify paying that much, but 65 I can swing. Shoot, I'm probably saving that much in gas just moving here because I was driving back and forth to see my family so much. I don't know about all that. I doubt all that, but maybe I was thinking about just because I like making plant pots. I may do like once I get like a stack, I may just sell some out of my garage. Um, we're near like a street that people walk on and stuff. Like there's like a popular pizza place, within walking distance of us. Like I can literally see it if I walk out in the street, and there's a music venue as well. So I thought about just like, you know, doing a pot sale, posting it on Facebook, and just selling what I have. But I'm careful about that too. That would be more like just to, I don't know, get rid of stuff and be able to fire and see what things look like. I don't want to turn this into a business because like this is this is like a therapeutic release for me. And from personal experience, once you make something a business, it can for me, it starts sucking the joy out of it. And I don't want to do that. So. I'll probably always throw in the garage, man. I like it. I don't like it so much when it's like horribly hot, but I kind of like having a space. Once I get it cleaned up a little bit better and the holes patched, and a wedging table that doesn't roll around on me, that'll be good. But one step at a time. It would be nice if I could like recoup the cost. That's the part that's kind of tempting, is if I could just, you know, sell my pots cheap, sell a few a month, you know, and then I could recoup the cost of just the hobby. But I'm not going to put pressure on myself to do that, and it's just something I'm thinking about. I don't even have enough pots right now to do that. Actually, I don't have any, unless you count greenware. Yeah, we own this, so that makes the difference. We were renting before, but yeah, we bought like a little tiny bungalow, and it's cool. It's the first time I've ever owned a home, so we can do whatever we want with it. Yeah. So, my husband doesn't know it yet, but we're probably gonna put a kiln in here one day. That's why I'm kind of like dragging on about, like, I'm like, one outlet works for me right now. Because if we're gonna call an electrician out, might as well just go ahead and get it wired for a kiln, you know? Like, why not, right? If you're already having to pay the money for it. And eventually one will come for sale on Facebook somewhere. In fact, we had a guy that's helping us do some rehab in the house, because like the house needed a lot, even before we moved in, and we're still getting some stuff done. But he mentioned that his wife is thinking about selling one of our kilns. So I'm like, oh, really? He's like, oh, I gotta move it. I'm like, oh, maybe you should just move it over here. But I told myself I would learn to operate one first. But it's tempting though, because like some of my sister's friends who I've met, and they were also helping us with the house. They're potters, and he's like, I'll teach you to run a kiln. And I'm like, stop tempting me, because I know that's just going to be like one more thing to learn, and you know, you only have so much time in the day, so it's like one more skill, and I still have so much to learn from throwing still, so like I don't want to muddle it, but it's inevitable. Eventually it's going to happen, because I'm not gonna, this isn't a hobby that's going anywhere, not for me anyway. Yeah, I know. That's another thing. Like, I'm afraid of glazes. Same reason. I see all these people, like, getting in, making their own glazes, and I'm like, I don't need to get into that. I don't even need to look at that. I don't need to know anything about that. You know, I just need to keep my head down, focus on the wheel. At least get through that Potter's workbook. But I think what I'll do is, I realized I already read through that chapter. The next one is about throwing a cylinder with a story. So I think I'm actually get fancy and try to draw out and plan what I'm going to throw. I usually just kind of like wing it. I don't really say, okay, this is my goal, you know, as far as a shape. But I think I'm going to start trying to do that, because I think that's like the next step to, you know, advancing, saying this is what I'm making. Plus there's a ton of stuff I want to make for the house. Like, I'm down to like 2 coffee mugs, so I need some mugs. I want to make a dish for my dog. I want to make a new popcorn bowl. We've got like just some big, you know, plastic mixing bowls. I want to replace all those, but I've never even made a bowl before. But one of the things that we got was this X tool for our business, like this wood laser cutter. So I also want to try to make myself some bats, because my husband got me this throwing cloths, and what they do is they hold down bats. So all I need is the bat itself, and so I got some wood that I just need to measure the wheel and cut it and then test it. I've never even thrown with a bat, so I'm curious what that's going to be like. I had one person tell me it's going to change my life. And considering how wobbly my last pots were, after I took them off the wheel, they were decent before, and then I took them off and they just went cold wonky. I could definitely use them. So I may do that actually this weekend and try that next throw I do. Because I feel like all my clay is super soft, and I don't know if it's just because it's out here and just so humid or what, but it's like hella soft. I think I also need to I don't know, like, how often people take their wheel apart to clean. But I was, like, looking underneath here, and there's, like, a lot of, like, clay stuck. I don't even know if that's a thing. But I need to figure all that out, too. I think that's going to be on my list. But one thing at a time, right? Well, I am lopsided. I'm going to hop so I can sweep and then back up that clay I've got drying over there before it gets too dry. But I'll be back. You'll start seeing me more often now that I'm, you know, it's bearable. Hopefully it doesn't get hot again too soon. I mean, we're not at fall yet. But as long as we're not in that crazy heat dome stuff, that was just nuts. Absolutely nuts. I should make a pottery game at my game. Man, that's not a bad idea. Well, the game jams, they usually give a theme, so that would be funny. I've thought about one of our games is a puzzle. It's like this wooden puzzle that we do daily, like ongoing puzzle challenges, like generated. And so it's almost like a crossword kind of thing, or Sudoku. But we've been trying to come up with a way that people can not have to print out the puzzle and put it behind them or whatever. And I've been thinking about making ceramic tiles that would go behind that people could use like a dry erase marker on. But I think it'd be fun to do that, a pottery themed video game. That'd be funny. I don't know how many potters game. But I've been doing a lot of pixel art too, so I've been getting some creative outlet going. Cozy chill game. All games should be cozy and chill. I got too much stress in real life. Not really, I used to. All right, well, you take it easy. And I will talk to you hopefully next time I see.